I hate uncertainty, don't you? I have always been one of those people who thrives in the black and white. I love knowing what's right and what's wrong, knowing exactly what to do, what to say, and how to feel. So during those gray area times when we have to simmer in the unknown, all I want to do is crawl under the covers and hide. And whether you're like me or you're a little bit better at handling uncomfortable situations, uncertainty will always pop up in our lives again and again in one way or another. It might be a personal issue, or it might be a frickin' global health crisis that flips the entire world upside down. No matter the form it takes, uncertainty will continue to pop into our lives and businesses. And so today I'd like to talk about how we can push past our urge to hide under the covers, rise up, and continue to show up for our audience on social media in the best way during troublesome times. Are you ready for this? Let's do it. Hey friend, and welcome to the Feel Good Social Podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and I'm here to help you market your business in a genuine way that works without wasting your precious time. On this show, we chat about social media strategy and mindset tips with a focus on, you guessed it, feeling good. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some genuine conversation for the good of your biz. Now, before we dive into the how, let's chat a little bit about the why. Showing up on social media during times of uncertainty is so important. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Your main goal when marketing your business on social media is to make connections with your ideal audience and build up a loyal following of those people who trust you, repeatedly buy from you, and recommend you to others. And if you ghost your audience when shit hits the fan and things get hard, you'll deteriorate the trust that you've worked so hard to build. Trust comes from consistency. And if you're flaky or completely fall off the face of the earth, you'll have to start over in your trust building process with your audience. And it may be harder to build up the next time around. When I was growing up, we would take trips up to the sand dunes on Lake Michigan in the summertime. So I like to think of trust building as that slow trudge up a loose, sandy dune. It's a lot of work, it's hot, and it's especially frustrating if you accidentally slip and slide backward down the sand. Being flaky and posting sporadically on social media can be like slipping down a few steps every once in a while. But completely ghosting your audience during a time of need is like taking that full fucking tumble down. If instead, during an uncertain situation, you rise up for your audience and show them you're an unwavering brand who will be there through the thick and thin, then your people will trust you even more. During times like these, when people are wondering what the heck is going on, remaining constant and setting an example for your people is the best thing you can do. This is actually an opportunity to build greater trust with your audience and to be helped up that freaking sand dune by the people who need you to show up for them. But believe me, I know how hard it can be to show up when you feel like you don't know what to do and the covers look oh so warm, safe, and inviting. So here's the best way to do it. The first thing you need to do during an uncertain situation or uncertain times is to revisit your brand's purpose, values, and vibe. So get out a pen and paper and write all of this down, okay? Consider, what is my brand's purpose? And how should my brand address this uncertainty? Now, sometimes the answer is simply going to be not to address it. If you're going through a personal time of trouble and the situation is not relevant to your brand or your audience, then I really don't believe you should bring attention to it, okay? But if a situation of uncertainty is relevant to your brand's purpose and affects your audience, consider the how. How does this affect my brand? And how does this affect my audience? That will help you visualize the way that you should approach and address the situation as a brand. Also, write down your brand's values. What do you support in the world? And what do you want to see change the most in the world as a brand? Write these down to remind yourself and refocus yourself on your ultimate goals for your business. But then also consider, how can you lean in to your brand's core values right now? During times of uncertainty, people love to come together and rally around those grand ideas that mean the most to us. So now more than ever is a great time to... Are you enjoying this episode so far? If you answered with a big hell yes, I would love to ask you to snap a screenshot and share it to Instagram so all your biz buddies can hear it too. And don't forget to tag us at feelgoodsocial so we can spread the love right back to you. Thank you so much for listening, my friend. Let's dive back in. People love to come together and rally around those grand ideas that mean the most to us. So now more than ever is a great time to tell your audience and show your audience what you believe in as a brand. And then I also want you to think about your brand's vibe, okay? What does your brand's voice sound like? What do your visuals look like? Are you more silly and cheeky, or are you more serious? Or maybe you are just often, motivational and inspirational, all of those things. No matter what your brand's vibe is, I think that it's very important during an uncertain time to continue showing up in a consistent way. Again, consistency is the key to trust building. So it really is important to consider, how would my brand address this situation? And maybe how should my messaging shift right now while still maintaining my brand's consistent vibe? Think about all of these things and write everything down. Believe me, it's very helpful to actually put it onto paper. And this will help you realize how you should address an uncertain situation. So the next thing you need to do during uncertain times is to create content, right? Continue showing up and creating content for social media. And this comes in the form of giving your audience what they need, giving your audience value. I'm laughing because in episode 11, I believe, the things that you should do when you're just starting out on social media, I talk about this a lot. The most important thing that you can do with your content on social media is to just ensure that you are always giving your audience value. Give, value. I said it 3 times in that episode too, and I'm sticking with it, man, because that is the most important thing you can do for your audience, especially in a time when they're most in need. So consider, what does your audience need right now? Also consider, what do they want right now? And then think about how you can give this to them and how can you specifically help them in an uncertain situation. So value on social media normally comes in the form of either education, inspiration, or entertainment. Basically, think about, what does your audience need the most? What do they want the most? And then how can you formulate that into a social media post that is either educational, inspirational, or entertaining? That is what you should be basing your social media posts on right now. And that is going to make it the easiest to show up on social media and create social posts, and also be the most strategic way to do it. How can you be the most helpful for your audience right now? Now, I do want to say, I was having a conversation with my friend Paige the other day, and we were talking about how we both have been experiencing kind of that posters block, or, we've both been struggling how to approach a situation such as what is happening in the world right now with the global health crisis. And she said something that I wrote down that I wanted to share with you as well. When it comes to giving your audience value and helping your people during this time of concern, remember that you do not have to conquer everything. You do not need to solve all the world's problems. You need to focus on what your customers need and how you can help them. So, for example, I've been Brene Browning hard all weekend, okay? And I've been loving it. But I've been really, really in my head trying to focus on how can I approach this situation in the healthiest way personally so that I can continue to show up for you guys in the best way online. And I really wanted to include step 1 of this episode having to do with looking inward to yourself and realizing how you need to handle the situation. And then I chatted with Paige, and she made me realize that is not my duty. I am not a health professional, a mental health professional. I love talking about all of that stuff, of course, but the best way that I can help you right now is to give you advice on how to show up on social media for your brand, right? So it's one of those problems that I would love to chat with you about. If you would like to chat mindset stuff, you know I geek out about that stuff. But because of who my brand is and what I do and who you are, the best way I can help you is to focus in on the social media. So when you're thinking about giving value to your audience right now, remember that it's okay to niche down the value that you're giving. You do not need to solve the world's problems. You need to focus on what your customers need from you, right? Okay, hopefully that makes sense. That was like a mind-blowing moment for me. I love chatting with Paige. That is something that I will say. If anyone is feeling lonely or anything right now, reach out to another entrepreneur because we all just want to talk, right? And it is so helpful to see each other's faces and just chat through situations, especially in times of uncertainty. Okay, that is my little, mental health personal trick for you right now. Let's move on to the next part, which is a good segue, I would say, into you need to protect yourself when you're showing up on social media in uncertain times. I know how fucking crazy of a roller coaster this is for your emotions right now. I'm right there with you, right? I am feeling up some days, down other days, all over the place, twisting and turning. And it's really, really important during this time of uncertainty to protect yourself and realize what you need so that you can show up for your people in the best way. This is not a time to put yourself on the back burner, okay? You need to make yourself a priority so that you can make rational decisions for your business and show up for your audience in the best way possible. So how you can protect yourself when it comes to social media is to plan your content ahead of time. If you're having a day when you're feeling, a little bit better or inspired, or you've just read some motivational quotes, then that is a great time to plan out your social media content because you are at the top of the roller coaster, right? But you know that there's going to be that downturn and you're going to have, a few bad days in there, or you're going to be twisting and turning with your emotions throughout the rest of your week. So the best thing that you can do during a time of uncertainty is to plan and schedule your content ahead of time. I've had this discussion with quite a few entrepreneurs where for some reason we all think that we need to be showing up on social media in real time. And I'm actually planning an upcoming episode where I talk about how to control your social media and not let your social media control you. So that episode is coming, you guys. But I will say that social media does not need to be done in real time, especially during these crazy times when our emotions and our minds and our bodies are all over the place. And so the more that you can plan ahead, if you can choose one morning, set aside 2 hours and do some yoga, read some motivational quotes right beforehand, and then plan out several social posts and schedule them ahead of time, then that will make it so much easier when tomorrow, you're having that twist in the roller coaster and you really don't feel like being on social media and showing up for your audience. This is an easy way to show up consistently, but still protect yourself and give yourself room to breathe. So again, saying that social media right now, for example, if it's during a time of uncertainty when everyone is on social media and there's a whole bunch of messages out there, positive and negative, and it just feels super crazy, one of the best things you can do is to just give yourself a break from social media. You do not need to be showing up on social media all the time. And I know I was just talking about how consistency is so important and all of that, but I think that the best thing that you can do right now is to protect yourself. And I'm going to keep saying that over and over until it sinks in for me and for you. We need to be protecting our mindset. We need to be making ourselves a priority so that we can all stay healthy and positive and genuine. So if you need to take a break from social media, do it, okay? Your audience will still be there. If you take a break on Friday and don't show up again till Monday, they will be there. It's not do or die. Take the breaks that you need. And then also give yourself grace. If you miss a post, if you can't respond to a comment or something like that, it's fine. Be kind to yourself and give yourself the grace to change your mind, change things up, switch your posts around, any of those things. It's okay. So that's my advice for protecting yourself on social media, because it can be a scary place right now. Believe me, I know. And the last thing that you need to do to show up on social media right now for your audience is to be always giving support. I think that especially in times of uncertainty, we are all yearning for support. We're all looking for it. We all need it. And the best thing that you can do is to show up for your audience and support them. And I actually, in the planning of this episode, I was going to just include all of the steps for this here, but I'm actually going to make this into a full episode on its own, okay? Because I really, really want to dive deeper into the best ways that we can be showing up and giving support on social media. But just remember that everyone else is feeling the same way as you. And if you are wanting support right now, if you're feeling the need for support right now, everyone else is feeling that as well. And the best way to get support is to give it. Okay, so the more you can be showing up on social media, giving support to your audience, the more they will return the love, right? So that is how you should be showing up on social media right now. And I really hope that these tips help. If anyone is needing to talk through situations or wants to throw ideas around for how, maybe you should be approaching uncertain times, then definitely reach out to me on IG. We are at Feel Good Social and we are on there. We're showing up. And so definitely find me in the DMs on Instagram. And I really hope that you have a great day, friends. Thanks so much for listening, my friend. For show notes and a whole lot of other awesome freebies, visit feelgoodsocial.com. Simply go to feelgoodsocial.com for all the goods.